Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is actually the first video that I have properly filmed sitting down in front of my bookshelves. Although you can only see just a few shelves of them, I take a lot of pride in these babies, so I'll have to properly show them off to you guys sometime. If you haven't seen my face before, hello, I'm Alexis, and thanks for stopping by my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul for you guys. Now if you don't know what a book unhaul is, it's basically where you take all of the books off of your shelves that you no longer want to keep in your collection. And for me, honestly, that's quite a few. It's this entire shelf right here. I've been meaning to declutter for some time. I don't know how many books I will have at the end, but I will have to tally them up and figure out what on earth I'm going to do with them. One, I could try and sell them on Pango, but I know these just won't be as popular of titles as others could be. Second, which is the route I'll probably end up going, is putting them in little free libraries around my town. Or third, I could go donate them to Half Price Books and see if I could get any money back in return. So I guess I should just start pulling these off the shelf and showing you all of the books that I'm going to get rid of. Let's just start with this stack here. First up, we just have The Girl the Sea Gave Back by Adrienne Young. I absolutely love Adrienne Young, but this is the second book in this little series that she has. I don't know much about it, but I found this in a little free library. It's a little dirty, dinged up, and whenever I would want to start this series, I obviously will need the first book. So for now, this is just taking up some space on my shelf, and I honestly don't think I will get to reading this series anytime soon. Let's just start a stack down here. This next one is a little sad, but it's The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I read this 2 years ago or so, and I loved the story, but it's not one that I will want to pick up again in the future to reread, and I don't use it much for Bookstagram pictures anymore, so I want to show you guys the actual hardcover for this though, because it is beautiful. Like, look at this. It's printed on the physical hard cover of the book, flamingos. And then the end pages are this pastel yellow. I truly just want to keep the book for that reason, but I know I shouldn't. Next we have Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Y'all actually saw me in a past reading vlog attempt to read this one, but I actually DNF'd it. I just couldn't get behind the two main characters whose love story we're supposed to follow, and it won't be one that I'll want to pick up again in the future, so for that reason, bye-bye. If you're interested in hearing all of my thoughts on that, I will link the video down below. This is just called Shits and Giggles. It's a joke book essentially, but a really naughty joke book, which I didn't know at the time. I might take this to our office because sometimes we have a whiteboard and I write a joke on it. I try to every day, but essentially I never get around to it. But this might be one that I'll take advantage of at work, so I might just relocate this. I'm on the fence about this next one, and it is Rex Ogle's The Supernatural Society. This is an advanced copy that I found in a little free library. It is a spooky supernatural middle grade. It gives off Scooby-Doo vibes, and for that reason I want to keep it, but I just don't know when I will read it. I like to listen to audiobooks as I physically follow along, and I don't think there is an audiobook for this one, or at least I haven't seen it in any of my libraries on Libby. I might hang on to it, I might not. I just don't want it taking up room on my shelves if I'll never get around to it. Next stack. Don't come at me in the comments for these next ones, but I have The Maidens by Alex Michaelides along with The Silent Patient. So The Silent Patient I read, and I truly did not enjoy it. I did not like the characters. I guessed all of the plot twists. There were so many plot holes in this, and I know this is an all-time favorite for a lot of people. So for that reason, I'm going to move on to talking about The Maidens. This one I haven't gotten around to. I picked it up in a little free library since I didn't really care for The Silent Patient, and I'm not big into Greek mythology. I essentially know nothing about it. We were forced to read The Lightning Thief in like 7th grade, and I hated every second of it. I know this is a lot different, but since it has those aspects in it, I'm just so unmotivated to pick it up. I've seen a lot of mixed things as well about The Maidens, but if it's one you think I might enjoy, let me know down below. Okay, here we have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I've had this one on my shelves for literally years, and I just keep putting it off. I've read so many reviews that say this one is amazing, but the second follow-up book to this was not the best. I haven't seen very many reviews on it at all. Again, I just don't want to sacrifice my reading time from something that I might end up falling in love with to a subpar series that I'm not really going to enjoy. There's so many. This is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. We had to read this in 10th grade English, I want to say. I think it was AP or Advanced English. I don't really remember, but we like had a deep dive into each chapter and analyzed everything as well as the movie. I did enjoy this a lot more than the other books that we had to read in class, but I just don't want to hang on to this anymore. I really have no interest in picking this back up in the future, and I'm not very keen on reading classics under my own free will. So hopefully a high school student will find this and appreciate it. Here we have this thick graphic novel, Bloom. The illustrations in here are actually really pretty. They are all colored blue, black, and white, which obviously matches the cover of this graphic novel. But I read it. I do not think about it. It wasn't really anything that I wanted to write home about, and at the time I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 3-star. I really just have no reason to hang on to it anymore. These next two are ones that I found in Little Free Libraries, and nobody can tell me different. These covers are so similar, and the fact that these books came out just a year apart has me so confused because you cannot tell me these are different. Obviously this one has bees and pastel colors, but then you have this one over here. Look at those women main characters. They both have the same style dress, the same updo bun, brown hair, and the men too. Come on, come on. This here is To Love and to Loathe, and this is Never Rescue a Rogue. I'm pretty sure these are both part of companion series or just spin-offs from other romances that take place within both of these worlds. I'm not very keen into the Regency romance era right now. I don't think it will be one that I will ever get into. I wanted to snag these when I found them though. They were like months past the publication date when I did find these. I didn't know if it was something that I would want to pick up, but I'm glad I hung on to them for the time that I did, just in case if it was something I wanted to deep dive into. Next we have Alexis Daria's You Had Me at Hola. I read this, gave it 2 stars. Have no interest in continuing on in this series. Did not really enjoy this romance at all. Couldn't really tell you anything about it other than I did not enjoy it. Short and sweet and to the point. This is another advanced copy. It's Make-A-Wish by Helena Hunting. I didn't realize this was part of a series, companion series, whatever you want to call it, when I picked this up. I grabbed it like a week before publication date, but then I did research and found out again it's part of a series that I have not started reading. This one is going to make me shed a tear or two. We have Rachel Kahn and David Levithan's Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. I think it was in like 6th grade or so, a book report on this, and we had to like analyze a bunch of stuff. We got to pick whatever book we wanted. I just chose this one. What sparked me to pick this book to talk about in front of my entire class? I have no idea, but I did do the thing and I got 100% on it, and my teacher told me it was the best one in the entire class, so kudos to this book for helping me get through that terrifying time of public speaking. I also watched the movie or Netflix series. I'm not really sure which it was. I don't remember for a good reason because I did not like the adaptation. If you're looking to read or watch this series, I definitely recommend reading it physically. And I think there is a follow-up book that came out. Editing Alexis put it on the screen if I was right. I'm pretty sure I was. I just really don't have interest in reading it. Here we have These Deadly Games by Diana Urban. I found this in a Little Free Library as well. It was months past the publication date. This is an advanced copy that I found last year. This is a thick book. It has a really intriguing tagline. On the back it just says, "Trust me, you've never played a game this devious, clever, or full of hairpin turn surprises. Urban elevates the YA thriller with her astute insights into friendship, guilt, and the secrets we compulsively keep." Tell me that doesn't sound so good, but some of my friends who have read this gave it like 1 or 2 stars, and I just don't really want to sacrifice my time possibly reading something that I'm not going to enjoy, especially a book this thick. You know, mentally I just told myself, if this has a good first sentence, I might just keep it. The first sentence of this book is, "I was going to kill Zoe." Well, now I'm intrigued, but it's going in the stack. Next up, we have Five Total Strangers by Natalie D. Richards. I read this, gave it 2 stars, wasn't anything amazing. Fun premise, but it just wasn't executed to the level that I thought it was going to be. Nice, that was fast. I should do that on all of them. Here we have The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. Again, I read this, I want to say in 9th or 10th grade for advanced English. This is the like deckled edges. I hate deckled edges. This is the platinum edition of the book. I don't really have any ties to it. I read it in school and then I read it again outside of school after I graduated, I'm pretty sure. I really don't remember much about it other than the greasers, soda pop, some of the characters, and I think there was a scene at like a drive-in movie where people got in a fight. That might be completely wrong. Somebody tell me if I'm right or not. If I'm right, that's like going back 10 years in my memory. I'd be just as shocked. I can't even remember what I ate yesterday. Will this stack fall over by the end of the video? Actually, it might, because these are all hardcovers and I did not plan my stack accordingly. Dear Lord. I'm just going to talk about these next ones all at once if I can hold them up. This is like the Marvel DC Icons series. I read these all when they came out, thought they were enjoyable, but I am by no means a Marvel fan. I read them once, that was good enough for me. My 2 favorites of the series had to be Catwoman Soulstealer and Batman the Nightwalker. If you don't know what these Marvel books are about, they're just about how they got their powers and their life before they became a superhero. If you're a diehard like Marvel fan, these are definitely worth picking up. I just have no ties to them and honestly, I just need the hardcover room on my shelves. Oh man. Yep, this is gonna fall for sure. This is an advanced copies of Abeni's Song. I'm not going to try and pronounce this author's name, I'm sorry. I just got an advanced copy of this. It comes out this month, July of 2023. I might do a giveaway with this on my Instagram. I just don't know if it's one that a lot of people would be interested in. They sent this to me unsolicited. The publisher, Starscape. On the back it just says it's an enchanting beginning of an epic West African and African dysphoria inspired fantasy adventure for middle grade readers. This font is so tiny. Again, it sounds pretty intriguing, but I just don't think I will have the time as of right now to pick it up. Next is the hardcover book of the month edition of The Kiss Quotient. I actually haven't read this one yet. This is by Helen Huang. You know, I think that's why I get so confused. Down here we have a Helena Hunting, and this is a Helen Huang. It's definitely a series I want to pick up, but I want it to be in the paperback versions. I read all of my romance books in paperback if I have the option, and it's a series that I know I'll want to collect because I'm more than likely going to love it. So this sun-faded Yellow Pages hardcover is just not one I want to keep around. Next up we have The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbi. This is an Auschwitz-inspired story that has been translated into English. I read this and enjoyed it at the time, thought it was one of the stronger translated Auschwitz-related novels that I have read, but since reading it, I've just heard some not great things about the actual story compared to the truth of what actually happened on the concentration camp. Just not one that I am proud to have in my collection. Here we have Swipe Right for Murder by Derek Millman. I read this, I think 3 or 4 summers ago. I do not remember a single thing that happened in this book other than there being like a giant shootout scene at like a theme park or maybe a water park. I enjoyed it while reading it. It kept my interest, but obviously, since I can't remember anything about it, it's not worth hanging on to. If the angle changed, I had to press record again, so I'm sorry. But here we have All the Dark Places by Terry Parlato. This is one that I just randomly found in a little free library. It was a few months before the publication back in January of this year. I tried to read this, but it just wasn't one that I could get invested in. I don't know if it was the writing style or the story that was trying to be told. This was also a debut, so I don't know if that's why. There was just something off about it that didn't work for me. Please don't fall, please don't fall. So far so good. Now this one, The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. I'm sad to let this one go. I don't know if you can tell, it's all water damaged and the cover is super crinkled. Whenever I get around to reading this, because I know it's a story I'll want to pick up, I'm just going to either pick up the audiobook or maybe get the Book of the Month edition since I know it was a Book of the Month selection. I like to take care of my books and keep them in good shape, so having this on my shelf is just giving me the ick, if you will. We are down to our last stack. Y'all are gonna kill me for this book here on the top. Don't peek. Next we have Legendborn. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Alexis, why are you getting rid of this book? Because I didn't like it, okay? I so badly wanted to like this. I wanted to love this series. I wanted to get into it. I just couldn't. I couldn't, y'all. I tried my hardest. I did. And y'all have to believe me. The world building fell flat. It was so long for no reason. This could have been broken up into a couple books, honestly. The text is so tiny. That's not a reason why I didn't like it. It was just so confusing, and honestly, I just don't think anything happened. I know finding this in a little free library would absolutely make someone's day. So for that reason, I'm not going to be sad about donating this. Nobody move, that is wobbling so much. This is a recent-ish release as well. This is Falling by TJ Newman. I know the sequel to this, Drowning, just came out a few months ago. Maybe it was last month. I've seen very positive and very negative things about Drowning, but as far as Falling, I thought this was the most ridiculous plane crash story I've ever read. I'm so sorry. Everything that happened in here, I predicted. Nothing surprised me. Having a flight attendant wear a name badge that says daddy and they want to be referred to as daddy by their passengers. Time out. Absolutely not. If a flight attendant asked me to call them daddy, couldn't be me, y'all. I'm sorry. I have a silly little book review posted for this on my Bookstagram. If you want to check out my thoughts when I read this book, my Instagram is linked in the description box below. I did take a fun picture. We used like a hairdryer to blow my hair back as I was holding this book. It's kind of cool because falling out of an airplane because it was crashing. This is Lisa Jewell's The Family Upstairs, a book of the month edition. It is sun-faded, yellow, crusty, musty. I haven't read this or the sequel to it. Lisa Jewell is an author that I would like to read more from. I've only read one of hers, which is The Night She Disappeared. I read this and I think I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and she has a lot of popular books that I am interested in picking up later. When I do pick this up, I think it'll be through the audiobook. My dad also read this one and I think he only gave it 3 stars. Actually, I don't know if I'll pick this up. Next up is Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. I buddy read this with my friend Taylor. Hey girl, I know you're watching. I gave this 2 stars. Oh. 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 Y'all just saw my genuine fear. Why is my heart pounding? Why did I think something was like thrown at me? I'm watching too many ghost videos. Okay, that obviously fell, so we're just gonna leave it and hopefully it doesn't crash to the floor even more because I only have a few more books left. Like I just said, I buddy read this, gave it 2 stars. The whole magic system, no. Insta love. The dancing plot as well just wasn't doing it for me. Not worth picking up in my opinion. If you want to read some Nicola Yoon, definitely check out Everything Everything and The Sun. The Sun is Also a Star. Yes, I had those titles right. To me, those are both 5-star reads from this author, so definitely read those if you want some YA contemporary vibes. I guess I'll just stack this here. Getting rid of these book of the months hurts a little bit because in like the shelf higher from me, it's actually a rainbow of book of the month editions, so I'm sacrificing some colors to unhaul them, but I have to. I need the space. Second to last is The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai. I loved the Irish family vibes in this one, but the romance just wasn't doing it for me. If I remember correctly, in this book, the main character held a grudge against our guy here from high school about like not taking her to prom or something. I have a review written for it again on my Instagram. I just thought it was ridiculous. And if you hold a grudge about someone not taking you to a school dance and bring that negativity into your adulthood, what are you doing with your life, man? Lastly is a graphic novel that I snagged in a little free library. This is Dune Book 1. This is like a brand new hardcover and it's like printed on those heavy pages. I grabbed this when all of the hype was going around about the Dune movie that came out with Zendaya. I haven't read any of the Dune novels previously. I just never knew if it was something that I would be into. So when I saw this, I figured I'd grab it and read through it just to see if it was a world that I wanted to dedicate into reading the actual novels for, because they had those like matte black cover editions come out. Those are so stinking beautiful. But after reading and flipping through this graphic novel, it's just not a world that I could see myself getting into at this time. But I'm really glad I got the opportunity to check out the movie novelized in graphic form. With Dune being my last book that I am unhauling and this falling stack of books beside me, that is currently the end of my unhaul. Before I get all of these out of my house, I'll definitely have to go through my shelves and scour them one more time just to see if any are lingering here, taking up some unneeded space. Oh yeah, I didn't count how many there were. Let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 34 books. I am getting rid of 34 books, in case you missed it like the 5 other times I said it. That is way more than I thought that I was going to unhaul, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that number. If y'all would like to see a video where I travel around my town going to different little free libraries, donating these in the process, definitely let me know down below. I think that might be a fun video concept to film, and I might as well document my experience since I'm going to be going to all of these little book boxes anyways. If you made it this far into the video, thank you guys so much for watching. If I'm getting rid of one of your favorites, I'm sorry, but thank you for still sticking around. Be sure to drop a like on this video if it's one you enjoyed, and subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. I will catch you guys here soon, I'm sure, with another bookish video. See ya. Y'all, there's a spider on my wall. I think I have to kill that. Oh my god. Okay, be right back. Oh no. Oh my god. And I won't be picking it up. Oh, my foot's asleep. But it is the 25th. Nope, not 25th. I should have like been leaning this whole time. Got back problems. Starting to ache. Continues to stack on wobbly stack. Dummy. Oh, my back, man. How do people sit like this? Huh. I'm going to get done filming right before Wheel of Fortune. I just don't think it's a very popular one for some reason. Oh, sugar. This is becoming like Jenga. Yeah. I approve. And that's a wrap. I should take a thumbnail. It ain't no lie, baby, bye, bye, bye.